and oppressed, to give them a new identity, a new belief, and the ultimate reality. That's our job. Nobody else wants to do that job. Nobody else, and none of these Masjids around. And if they go do dawah, you know who it is, mainly nowadays? To Euros. We love Euros. Right? You see some of these converts, reverts from Texas and everywhere. And I know there's one white lady, she's going up and down the prayer and straightening the lines. And one African-American sister is gritting so hard because, see, the immigrants treat them better. They happy to see them when they take Shahada, right? They ain't happy to see you when you take Shahada. Oh, it ain't no big deal. But boss man's children, they're happy. So you have to be patient with everybody. There's a disease. There's the colonial mentality and the slave mentality. The colonial mentality is like what you would see all over the other world. Or when I lived in other places, they loved the British and they loved the French. And they thought they were superior to them in everything. Right? And then there's a slave mentality. You and I. White, you all right? You yellow, you mellow, right? If you brown, stick around. If you black, what? Get back, because you're black, simple as that. So if you're white, you're all right, no problem. I had a friend, and I'm going to close in a minute. I've just given time for food to warm up, so don't be mad. Well, we was in overseas, and this guy, he was a Swiss, he had an Egyptian wife. His name was Ahmed Hubert. He was a great journalist, a Swiss journalist. And he married an Egyptian woman, and their child must be 50, 60. The child was now about 60 years old. But when he was younger, he was, real curly-headed and real light. And he was saying, he didn't fit in with the people of Europe and even with the other Muslims, but he didn't fit in definitely with Europeans. And seemed like everybody got a shoulder to cry on. They choose the Negro. They look like, and so he was telling me the problem. I said, oh, if you was in America, that ain't nothing. You would just be high yellow. What? Yeah, man. I said, man, if you was in America, you'd just be right there with us. You'd just be high yellow. So now his father's blonde and everything. So he went running to his father. Baba, I'm high yellow. His father said, what in the hell have you did to my son? He said, this is a true story. Ahmed Huber's son. A Swiss journalist, his son is a big journalist. He's probably 60 years old now, but when he was younger, 30 years ago, he was having, assimilation problems with the Muslims of Europe. And he was telling me how bad it was in those days. I said, oh, man, that ain't nothing. If you was over there with us, in other words, with black people, you know how we are. We got every color in the rainbow, right? I said, you just be high yellow. He said, high yellow? What's that? I just told him a little bit. He went running to his father. It was a big conference. He went, Baba, I'm high yellow. So his father didn't say nothing to me. His father's a good friend of mine. He said, what did that Musa tell you? He thought it didn't mean nothing to his father. And it didn't mean nothing to nobody else. I think he was in a conference in Iran somewhere. But the point is, people relate to us. We can relate to people all over the world. The only thing we have to do is kick that slave mentality. Remember, don't complain about other brothers when they come from somewhere else here. They have a colonial mentality. Right? A colonial mentality. Boss man, whoever their colonial master was, he was smarter, he looked better. Just like the white man sugar. You remember all those experiments they did with black people? They have a black man standing behind a sugar bowl and a white man standing behind a sugar bowl, right? They fill up both sugar bowls with the same sugar, and you ask the people when they walk by, which one of these sugars is the sweetest? What do you think they all say? The white man's sugar is sweeter than the nigga sugar, right? You got to be patient with people like that. They've been through certain historical traumas. So we hear that now we say La ilaha illallah, Muhammadan Rasulullah, and the last thing I'm going to say, when they murder and the Zionists kill our people in Palestine, they're killing us. When they raid and murder our people in Yemen, they're killing us. When they raid and burn and massacre people in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and every other place where the people saying La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah, they are folks, right? And that's where we're coming from. Oh Allah, we seek thy refuge from anxiety and grief. We seek thy refuge from lack of strength and laziness. We seek thy refuge from cowardice and ignorance. We seek thy refuge from being overpowered by death and depression.
Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Allahu Akbar!
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفر إنه كان توابا. When Allah's help and victory come, and we see the people entering the religion of Allah in companies or in great groups, celebrate the praises of Allah. And this gives us an understanding about the environment that we live in. In other words, the Muslims have become acculturated to the peoples of the world. And the people of the world, not just our tribe, not just our background, right, are our family. They're, وَتَصِلُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. In that word, Asama, years ago, in the capital city was called Asama in Arabic. Why? Because it was defended. It was safeguarded, right? It was secure. So they called the capital city Asama. Okay? In that word, وَتَصِمُوا Asama, وَتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ جَمِيعًا. Hold on all together by the rope which Allah stretches out. That's Islam. There's no greater gift that we're going to get better than Islam. It's only the level that we instituted in our lives, we practice it. The only thing I can say to you from experience is that everything else in life is little or nothing as compared to this beautiful way of life known as Islam. And then, when Allah's help, all of this sadness, I ain't got no money, I ain't got this. When Allah's help and victory comes, this is what we got to remember. We have to expect the victory of Allah. This coming, and it may be coming soon, because the world is going through a stage of crackpotism, so that means it has to be a period of stability behind that, right? And so, إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ. When Allah's help, not Negro help, not white folks help, when Allah's help, Allah can do anything that we need, right, to safeguard ourselves, our family, and our way of life. When Allah's help and victory come, and we see the people migrating to Islam in groves, celebrate the praises of Allah, And remember, one thing I want to just mention before closing. La tatraba. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam captured Mecca in the 8th year of the Hijrah, all the people was worried. What are you going to do? What you going? So they asked him, "O Rasulullah, what are you going to do with us?" He said, "I'm going to do the same thing with you." Yusuf said to his brothers, "La tatraba." No reproach this day. Right? Just think about it. Remember Yusuf's brother throwed him down the well. They gave him a working out. Isn't that right? And actually, they was just fulfilling. He got a mission, and that was his mission, to get thrown down the well and picked up and taken to Egypt. But he told his brothers, we have to have the same attitude. Because sometimes we come in contact with people who may think that they're smarter and better, and your pronunciation of Arabic is not good, so you can't be that smart. I don't want to change the subject, but there's one letter, I can't even say it now, Law. So the Arabs are teaching us Arabic, and then they get to that letter. They said, now say Law, and we say Da. No. Da. And they be saying, these niggas are stupid, man. You can't teach them nothing. That's what they be thinking, can't teach us nothing. But you don't have to worry. When I came here, when we was learning a lot of surahs, first we was learning from everybody. So at one time we was hanging out with Pakistani brothers, and they wala zaleen, and we saying that in prayer. No. Pull us aside. No, wala zaleen. Right? I said the Pakistanis taught us this wala zaleen. Well, they don't know how to. They're not Arabs. They Pakistanis. Anyway, right? Man, it's been a wonderful experience. The Islamic experience, especially the older brothers. Well, now they're bringing all the stuff up, so I'm going to close out. Dear brothers and sisters, we done had a wonderful Ramadan, a wonderful Eid, and we wish you the best in the future and your families. And we just overwhelmed. I know this has been nice. It's been a little cool too, and that helps. So we want to thank y'all for participating. I always feel like Masjid al-Islam is your home. Takbir! 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 I just want to say one more thing. It was a big demonstration. Anybody remember that demonstration downtown years ago when it was about 500,000 people down there? Anybody remember that demonstration? No, I don't remember that. Yeah, the brothers was there. So we had everybody was doing their little speeches. So when I came up, I just said, okay, y'all want to say something that 1.5 billion people are gonna love you. They said yes. These is white folks mostly. So I said, I'm gonna say takbir, and when I say that, you say Allahu Akbar, and we're gonna do it 3 times. So I said takbir, and all the white folks said Allahu Akbar, right? And then we did it 3 times. Tell the truth. Anybody was there, those white folks' takbir were better than ours. No doubt about it. Superior. Then the Muslims are out. So on the day of judgment, that may be the only good thing on them white folks' record. Right? No, you never know. You can't. They said Allahu Akbar. Right? And they might not have known. I don't know. I'm just he just said, say this, and I'm saying it. And now on his record, that may be the only, he may got fornication, adultery, bank robberies, everything on his record. Then he come up and he said, Allahu Akbar. You don't know what Allah is Rahman Rahim. So thank you very much, dear believers. We're going to do what we can over here, and of course the sisters is first. Technically, well, I ain't going to get into it.